Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to run through the Vignette for ARE 4.0 Construction Documents and Services Practice Program. I am by no means an expert in this. I am just like you guys, going through the process, doing my best, and sharing with you what I've learned. So I'm going to go ahead and just practice and upload it for you. I've actually already taken the exam. I passed the Vignette, and unfortunately I did not pass the multiple choice, which surprised me because I thought I failed the Vignette and passed the multiple choice. But anyway, back to studying. It's part of the process, so if you fail, don't be discouraged, just keep going. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. You access this practice program through NCARB website, so log into NCARB and find the portal there. So we're going to go ahead and start. And I'm just going to be doing this in a few part series. So I'll just be doing the first part and then I'll upload another video with the next part, so be sure to check back if you want to keep working with me. So let's click on this. If your internet is slow like mine is, sometimes the software gets a little funny. So just do your best. And also practice before. I did practice obviously before the exam, but I went again the day of to try to do a quick little, last minute overview, and the internet wouldn't load this practice program for some reason. So do as much practicing as you can before the day of the test. Okay, so you should be already familiar with all of this. I'm not going to run through it all necessarily. Make sure you're familiar with this. But quickly, exterior and bearing walls are, some of the walls you're going to have to draw. You're going to have to draw non-bearing corridor and lobby walls with a fire-resistant rating. Check these heights. I would recommend writing this down on a notepad next to you as soon as you open up the program. You can do shorthand, like first floor, like either FF for first floor, something like that, or 1F, and write down all of these dimensions on a piece of paper next to you while you work. It's really important to get all your clearances correct in the ceiling to account for your duct size and your lighting size and your structure size, so that if you make a mistake there, it's not going to have to be moved all over the place. So make sure you get your clearances correct before you're sort of picking around and, finicking on little tiny alignments of ducts that you cut through or anything like that. Frost depth, so the top of the footing can be at 5 feet. I've read that the bottom of the footing can also be at 5 feet. I worked with the top of the footing at 5 feet, so I'll work like that again. Okay, let's go ahead and go in here. So it's telling me I may have a lag time because of my network. So bear with me. Okay, so I'd actually already started working on this before. So I'll just talk through a couple of things here. The very most important thing, first of all, make sure that you have your cursor on. So when you come to this screen, you will not have your cursor on. You will have this very little thing that does nothing. So turn on your cursor, make sure you've got a nice T-axis going. You can turn on ortho if you'd like, which will help move things orthogonally. The most important aspect is you must place the grade line, and NCARB will tell you this. If you do not place the grade line, you will fail the exam. Secondly, your fire-rated walls must reach the underside of the slab above. So here, for example, I have a fire-rated wall in red. I don't know if it's true. I read that, or someone told me that you may fail if you do not reach this up to the underside of the floor above. So anyway, make sure you reach those up, so that I would have to adjust up. You can, again, this is not a completed, I was working through this and someone called, so I actually stopped. But I can at least talk you through some of this, and then I'll do another video where I actually move with you one-on-one on it. So this green is my grade line here. I have sketched rectangles by my footings, which are 5 feet, so the top of the footing is at 5 feet. I've worked on either practicing on the cut line and drawing my section on the cut line, which is very strange. I would never work like that in an architect's office ever. But the software is very challenging, so I'm working sort of modified based on this software. You can also draw it above, which is more typical of how you'd work in an office. I've now tried both, and they both have sort of some drawbacks, unfortunately. I think of the lesser evils, I would say drawing right on top is actually easier. If you draw above, you have to use all of these sketch lines to line things up. You can use this cursor, but it's really, you end up having to use a lot of sketch lines, I've found, to get things in alignment, and it's hard to zoom in and out and see, and it actually is harder. The hard part about drawing on top is that you can't always see some of the drawing information, and you cannot hide your building components that you draw. You can only hide the layers below. So here I've got on my layers, some of my layers. I could turn off everything. I can see my building. However, there's no option to turn off what you've drawn. So if you just want a clean slate and look at the drawing below, unfortunately, if you've drawn things, that's not an option with this software. So I would go with the lesser of two evils. My recommendation is to draw it right on top, now that I've done both. And I actually drew it above during the exam, which was a bit of a risk because I had only practiced it on the section line. And I found out it was harder and slower. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some things here. So I've got my, again, this is incomplete. I've not finished this yet. This wall will have to move up. There's more things, second floor up here. So this is my exterior wall sitting on the footing. This is my interior bearing wall sitting on the footing. This footing is interior, so it does not have to reach as far down as the exterior footings. It can be placed directly below. I've got this exterior wall reaching the footing. These walls are sitting directly on top of the footing. My slab is actually starting on the inside of the wall, running all the way through the interior wall. That's fine to run through. I've read a bunch of things. Everything seems to say it's fine to do that. So don't worry about like doing two slabs here. Just run it through. You should be fine. And I have some sketch rectangles here. The small one here is, the small long green one is for the lighting clearance, which is 8 inches. I have it again over here. And then I have another rectangle here, which is the clearance for the maximum size of the duct space. And again, I have one right here, which is the maximum size for the duct space. I really wish it was easier to zoom in and out, and I would just be zooming in and out, but it ends up sort of jumping all over the place. It's not a typical scroll zoom. Okay, so I'm gonna pause here, and then I will complete this and upload that for you. And if you have any questions or specific requests, please drop a comment in the box below. If you'd like to see this started over from scratch and have me run through the entire thing, I can do that. If you prefer to just watch the second video where I finish this, I can do that too. So let me know if you have a preference. I will be practicing. Actually, now I'm starting to practice for PPP, so I'll be doing that vignette and uploading it when it's ready, so be sure to subscribe, and good luck studying. Okay, hope to see you back soon. Bye.